Hi, and welcome to episode 24 of Anniversary Edition. Today we are going to be talking about Footloose, which celebrates its 35th anniversary this year. As always, we are going to spoil the film, so do go away and watch it first and then come back and listen to our podcast. So I'm Sophie, and I am here today with...
Adam, hello.
And Tom, hello.
So, to give a bit of an overview of this film, it's a 1984 American musical comedy drama. It was directed by Herbert Ross, and it's actually loosely based on actual events that took place in the small religious community of Elmore City in Oklahoma. Who knew? So
Oklahomans, probably.
Well, yeah. It was in 1978, apparently, and up until that point, dancing had been banned for nearly 90 years.
How do you ban dancing for 90 years?
I mean, I just don't know.
I mean, it's not your puritanical religious people. Just, you know.
This is a pretty solid story about, you know, the evils of banning things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of just assumed the dance thing was like a metaphor.
No,
I mean, it's actually...
For drugs, or...
Yeah,
No.
I kind of, when I watch it, I always think...
I didn't think it was a real...
Yeah, that's never
I mean,
happen.
if you think about when John Lennon said that the Beatles are bigger than Jesus, that most of the Bible Belt went on a rampage burning any popular music albums.
Yeah, and they haven't stopped since.
And so, like, there is that kind of devil in the music kind of thing going on. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that it's based on something vaguely true.
Yeah. Well, to give you an overview in case you haven't seen the film of what it's about, I did write a little blurb.
Oh, I love these.
So, new to the small town of Beaumont, Utah, Ren McCormack is shocked to learn that dancing is illegal in the town. Ren makes friends in the town, including local preacher's daughter, Ariel, and together they take on the town and organise a senior prom. After failing to convince the city council to lift the ban, Ren and his friends manage to secure a venue just outside the town limits and have their prom anyway.
Nice.
There we go, yeah.
He never actually overturns a dance band, does he, in this film?
No, not at all.
Good job on not achieving anything, Ren.
Because you kind of think, well, surely that's going to be the point, that they're going to change their mind.
Yeah. Well,
and they don't.
He changes the key mind.
He does.
Because it's one of those things, we were talking about this off the podcast the other day, about what Mary Poppins is really about. And this is the same thing. It's
Satanism.
It's not really Ren's story, and it's not really Ariel's story, but it's the Reverend's story. And he's the one that goes through the significant change.
Yeah.
So they don't need to overturn the ban, they just need to change his mind.
Yes.
Is he the person whose mind he really needs to change, though? There's a guy who's sort of not really that featured, but he's the one that whips up the town against books.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the mayor? I don't know if he is or not.
I can't actually remember.
No, but he seems to be sort of the ringleader. If there was a grand dragon in that town, he would be the guy.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that what he signifies is the fact that people do get caught up in this. So he does all of that based on the teachings of the Reverend. Whereas I think that John, his message is supposed to be slightly more subtle than that.
Yes.
Like, and they're seeing it as binary black and white. And, you know. Yeah.
When did you guys first see this film? Tom, when did you watch it?
Last night.
Oh, okay. Hadn't seen it before at all?
No, never seen it before.
Okay.
Obviously knew, like, the songs from it.
Yeah.
Or had heard them, being a child of the 80s. But yeah, I just never saw it. Never kind of came across it at all. So.
Okay. What did you think? Like, top line?
I actually quite liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would watch this over other movies of this genre. Put it that way. So, I thought it was better than, like, Dirty Dancing,
wow.
Grease, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I would watch this over that.
Oh yeah, over Grease any day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Adam, when did you first see this?
I saw this when I was a teenager. Top line thoughts on it. I probably saw it on television. I must have seen it on TV. There's no way I would have gone out of my way to watch this. So this is one of those, Footloose is on television. I haven't seen Footloose.
Yeah.
I've heard of Footloose. This is better than
whatever else you do.
Whatever else, like Countdown.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and I think I probably enjoyed it more then than I did rewatching it.
Yeah.
A few days ago. Footloose is... It's a bit of an odd film. For a film that speaks out against, the darker social natures of people, it's a very inoffensive movie.
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun.
I mean, it's designed to make stars of its young cast.
Yeah.
Sell music albums, soundtrack albums, and just be a hit movie. I mean, it's cashing in on that kind of emerging,
and at the same time represent the rise of Donald Trump in Heartland America. I'm not joking.
That doesn't surprise me. No. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Why
okay.
not? Okay, so it's a film where a kid from Chicago goes to a small town and makes fun of everyone with how advanced and quote-unquote cultured he is. It's a film that makes these country folk seem simple, and it pokes fun at their puritanical ideas.
Yeah.
This is emblematic of small towns feeling left behind by the cities that represent them.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There's only a matter of time before they took over a political process.
Yeah, and then you have the Reverend who's preaching to their insecurities.
Yeah.
And they get fully behind him to the point where they go to the extreme.
Yes.
Yeah. The only difference being that he has enough of a conscience and
awareness, I think.
Awareness of himself to adapt and change and know when where those boundaries are.
Far. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think this is the most interesting thing about it, really.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the film have been really interesting though if John Lithgow never changed and ended up arresting all the kids?
I think
dark endings.
I think what makes this film is him. And I think his performance is so good. Like it's so.
He's actually really impressive in this.
Yeah, he is.
It's such a nuanced and subtle performance, which you don't often get in this role. I mean, it's
don't often get it from John Lithgow.
Well, you do.
Sometimes you do. It sort of depends whether he's playing a US senator or whether he's in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
or the dad from Orange County.
I mean, watch the trailer for Buckaroo Banzai, which he made the same year as this, and then you'll see the opposite John Lithgow.
Yeah.
But I think this character is a cookie cutter, like stern parent who learns from their child. It's a very archetypal character. Yet he does it in such a way that I would say, this is something I found really interesting. As I started to watch it, I was kind of like, I don't really relate to Ren. I certainly don't relate to Ariel or Chris Penn. Like, I was never a rebellious child. I was never had anything to kind of like rally against. So I never really kind of associated with that sort of stuff. And the person I kind of empathized most with was John Lithgow. Yeah. Take out all of the religious stuff because I'm, vehemently atheist, but like I could see that although he was going about it in completely the wrong way, his intentions were kind of good in that he just wanted to protect the kids.
Well, see, I find this really interesting because I watched this, I must have been, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. I think I must have seen it on TV. Yeah, well, my friends did the musical of this a while. Oh God, no, actually not a while ago. Wow, probably like 10 years ago now. Yeah. And I helped, I was sort of listening to music and kind of brainstorming ideas with my friend who was choreographing it. And I had all the memories of watching it from back then. And I kind of just associated it with dancing, really. Like I didn't really kind of take much else away from the film. And then I rewatched this over the weekend and actually like John Lithgow's character was my favourite. And that was the story that I was interested in,
because that's what I was sitting there thinking. I was like, I wonder how close I am in age to John Lithgow playing this character.
Oh, yeah.
Or am I closer to Kevin Bacon?
Right. I mean, Kevin Bacon was 24.
He was 24 when he filmed this, but he's supposed to be 17?
17, I think.
Yeah. So how old do you think John Lithgow was when he made this film?
Well, I think wasn't he only like 9 or 10 years older than the girl playing his daughter, like Ariel? So.
Oh God.
Yeah. So maybe like, I don't know, 45, 40.
Okay, so that would put me within 7 years of him, right?
Yeah.
He's actually the same age as me now. He's 38 in this movie.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He really grew up fast.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty powerful performance.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Because, you'd say he was at a minimum mid-40s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I kind of thought that.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. So, okay, so I think, Tom and I, we've got obviously similar favourite kind of characters. Adam, have you got like favourite moments or favourite characters?
I liked Ren.
Okay.
I liked him a lot. From the start of him complaining about the burn the books, he really liked Slaughterhouse-5, which is a great book.
I warmed to him over the course. Like I
liked him immediately.
I found him a bit cocky and a bit,
I never got cocky from him.
Right.
Although certainly the locals are supposed to get cocky from him.
Yeah.
The fact that he wants to wear a tie to school makes me think, he's a nerd.
Well, apparently Kevin Bacon went to the school that they were scouting the locations of and wore a tie and dressed as Ren to get an idea of how he would be received by kids from the country, basically.
He spent like half a day there as a kid.
Yeah, trying to be like a new kid in school, basically.
Yeah.
And he received the exact reception you would expect, and that he gets in the film.
Yeah.
So he left when the location scouts left.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot, and also, I liked John Lithgow's character. Not a lot of other characters to like in this movie. Certainly, Ariel is a terrible character.
Terrible character, yeah.
What kind of preacher names his daughter Ariel anyway?
Yeah, I don't know.
I really love the Bible, but I also really love the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I don't get her name, but I hadn't remembered, so watching it again, I hadn't remembered how peculiar she is as a character. She's like a really troubled young girl.
Well, yeah, I think that, the big thing with them is, which they don't kind of explore enough, is the fact that both, in fact, her father and her mother are all dealing with the grief of the loss of her older brother, which is the reason for the ban in music. And the father's basically trying to protect everybody, and he's doing it by trying to control everybody. And he's being overbearing, and he's enforcing that kind of moral high ground because he thinks he's doing the right thing. She goes completely off the rails and rebels against that. But the only one who seems to be actually coping with the death of the son and moving on and is the mother.
Yeah.
And
Diane Wiest.
Diane Wiest.
She's great.
She is great, but you don't really you don't see that much of her. And I think it's
like, I'd love to see that story told.
Yeah.
The kind of the way more interaction between the family and like how she's coping with it and how she manages to stay so kind of understanding of both sides, because she's got this knowing of their character. And I can't remember when she says it. I think it's nearer the end of the film, but she says, I used to be jealous of you two because you were always so close, of Ariel and her husband. And then obviously everything happened and all of that changed. But she kind of seems to have this like astute awareness of their relationship. I really liked her. I loved her and Reverend Moore, actually.
There was a certain amount of fragility to her performance that I quite liked a lot, although I just don't think there was a plot behind that. Maybe the director had some insights as to where her character was coming from that the audience isn't privy to, but she certainly...
I mean, she just kind of ticks the box of being the dutiful wife, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Up until the point where she says to him in the church, you're great at like raising a congregation and preaching, but one-to-one, you're lost a little at the moment.
I think it's a fascinating dynamic between the three of them. And it kind of is one of those things where it's like, you know, everyone kind of goes, oh, it's Kevin Bacon. It's all about Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And it's not at
all. And that's the thing,
that's
exactly what I'd remembered though.
Yeah.
Like from watching it when I was younger, in my head, this was completely all about kids wanting to dance and not being allowed to. And it was all about him and Ariel falling in love and it's just not at all.
This is what happens when you start watching like kids movies or teenagers movies as an adult.
Yeah.
You start thinking, man, that adult is talking sense. I'm loving it.
And now I'm old because I'm siding with the parents.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's fascinating. That's why I looked up to see how old John Lithgow was, because I was just kind of like, this is
congratulations.
Yeah, I was just like, you know,
it's like watching E.T. and these government agents really are on the money. Yeah. Ariel's really problematic for me because from the very beginning she's presented as an easy girl, like a good time girl. And one of the first thing you learn about her is that she gets kissed a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's with the village, the town bully.
And she's got a death wish worthy of Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And it kind of just makes you think, if that was a film, if the film was made 10 years later, she'd be the girl, she wouldn't be the girl in the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be the lead's best friend.
She'd be the best friend who tries to educate the girl about sex.
Yeah.
But I kind of want her to be the sort of Sloane from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the kind of cool, fun girl, the cool, rebellious girl that you actually want to date, not Ariel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon can do better than Ariel. Not that I want to demonize being a massive hoe.
No, but so I think the thing is that I think what they're trying to get at is that he's got a bit more of an insight as to who she really is. And who she really is worthy of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And like her actual, you know, the woman that she can be at her greatest potential is, you know, a really lovely person and someone that he could fall in love with. So I guess I think the whole point is that's her redemption. It's kind of coming away from going off the rails and kind of getting back on track.
Yeah.
I just feel like her entire arc is just, you know,
I don't feel like she really has.
Get laid more.
One
with City Boy rather than Yokel.
I think you're right. Is that her motivation doesn't change?
Yeah,
and it needs to.
Yeah.
The only reason that she kind of slows herself down a bit is because she's hitting a brick wall with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and she's not
spot on.
And she's not. It's almost like she's changing her tactic as opposed to changing the person she is.
Yeah, it's not like she's had an epiphany and has decided to, you know, correct kind of the reckless death wish behaviour, and you know, she's just kind of, I can't get this guy.
Change though. She does say she wants to go to a college out of town, some that her dad doesn't even know about, which is the only real window we get into the fact this might be a real human being. Yeah. And not a blow-up doll.
Yeah. Well, there's that scene between her. So when Ren comes to try and explain to the Reverend about like why he's been doing what he's doing and to try and change his mind, and they have that kind of conversation, and he shows him the picture of his son and all that. The only kind of glimmer that I saw of like Ariel as a redeeming character is that scene, just where she kind of is apologizing. Well, they sort of apologize to each other, and they kind of they just say that they're just basically both upset.
Maybe she does fix her ways.
Maybe. Yeah. I think
the film doesn't run on long enough for us to see it.
Well, maybe, yeah. But
it's the fight at the prom as well for me that undercuts it. Because if you have,
I wrote exactly that.
Yeah, if you they've had that little moment.
Yeah.
And then they get their way, and she's wearing like a nice dress, and she's you know presenting herself as like her mum says, you know, you look so lovely, and everybody's kind of blown away about. She looks great, and she's got this kind of confidence. That's not the right word. Calmness, I think, that she hasn't had before in the film.
Yeah.
And then when there's a fight at the prom, she's like egging them on and is like, hit him, Ren.
Do you know what that scene should have been? Those guys jump Ren and Chris Penn, his name I can't remember, Willard. Is it Willard?
Willard, yeah.
And the person that breaks it up
is her.
He's the dad.
Oh, the Reverend. Okay.
And he comes along and he sees the dynamic and and it gives him that moment of understanding the pressures and dynamics that teenage relationships are under, and he, without violence, puts the ex-boyfriend in his place.
Yeah, but see, then I think he'd have been proved right that they shouldn't be having a prom.
That's the problem.
But he's proved right that they shouldn't be having a prom by the fact that they have the fight.
So maybe they just shouldn't have the fight scene.
They shouldn't have had the fight scene.
But what I'm saying is that he should see Ren and Willard saying no,
stopping
and trying to stop the fight, and that's enough for him to step in.
Yeah,
and then they both win because he gets to be the authority and say, "Don't behave like this." Mm-hmm. But he gets to see that those kids can be trusted because they're trying to avoid the conflict.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, literally Kevin Bacon doing a flying kick off a veranda into someone's face is like, well, okay.
Like,
well,
why? Because also it's like that's not how you think he would be either, like, as a character. Because he's kind of always been the one to say, no, I don't want to join.
He's supposed to be the intellectual. He reads books, he wears ties, but instead he does
that really
inefficient karate.
I think it comes down to the fact that it's almost a knockback to, we were talking about the Hays Code in the gay divorcee and the fact that people have to have their comeuppance. And I think that basically the ex-boyfriend needs to have his comeuppance for beating up Ariel.
Right,
which he does.
Yeah.
But
I think I would have liked him to maybe just his comeuppance would be to actually be a three-dimensional character and realise the reason he lost Ariel in the first place is because he's not an introspective.
Yeah, it shouldn't be eye for an eye. It should be.
It should have been if they were going to turn up and gonna try and fight, and then they should have seen, I don't know, maybe Ren and Ariel having like a moment where I don't know whether they would have said I love you or something, but just something where he actually stops and says, no guys, let's leave it, like, and leaves, like you say, just that little bit more of a character development.
I'm with you, Sophie. I think the fact the fight scene existed in the first place completely undermines the film, in that everything the town was worried was going to happen
happens,
is 100% either happening during the fight or going to happen after the dance, if you know what I mean, Ariel.
Yeah, because that dance routine at the end they're going wild.
They're going mad.
The kids are just going wild.
It's the power of Kenny Loggins.
Tell you what, though, some of those dance moves, those kids never danced like it's illegal. Well, everyone. There was more dancing going on in this film while it was illegal.
That's the moral of the story, It's like the prohibition. You ban something and people will find a way. Because it becomes more exciting.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
What about we've talked a lot about the characters. Tom, do you have kind of a favourite moment or like a favourite scene in the film?
I liked the scene where Ren addresses the council. Mm-hmm. Because I liked the fact he didn't launch into this kind of rousing speech.
Perfect speech.
It was kind of really awkward, and like a teenager who
it was real,
and he obviously, like, as he started to speak from the heart, it became more, sincere and more kind of, there was more
confidence behind it.
And I liked that, and I liked the scene between him and John Lithgow, and it made me want more of that. And I kind of thought it would have been nicer if Ren had tried more, like there'd been more instances where he tried to kind of reason with John Lithgow as opposed to kind of just that one instance.
Yeah.
Which, I guess it's all down to runtime, right? Because this is 1 hour 45 or something. Yeah. So, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. I think for me, I had that scene as my kind of favourite scene as well, between John Lithgow and Kevin Bacon. I do also love Kevin Bacon's dance montage.
I was
Which one? The one in the warehouse?
The first one in the warehouse.
Blowing off some steam with some... I don't know what it is. There's some dance, there's some
gymnastics going on.
I was going to say there's
ballet, some hip hop.
There are a lot of abandoned trampolines in that warehouse.
They're really, really
yeah, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if I could find a warehouse like that, with trampolines in.
Isn't it odd that he's a gymnast in the first place? Rebel Without a Cause comes into Down, but he's a gymnast.
I mean, they used to have like in Greece though, didn't they? I think when they did like PE back in the day.
Yeah, you specialise.
They kind of, but a lot of them did gymnastics. I think, and team sports more.
Chris Penn was a wrestler.
Yes. Well, apparently because he couldn't dance at all, so they had to teach him
like he was
the choreography in terms of wrestling.
Yeah.
That explains so much.
Because they just were like, well, you can't dance.
Yeah.
I did actually quite like his character.
Yeah.
I quite liked his little montage as well when he's teaching him how to dance.
Which only exists because Chris Penn couldn't. It wasn't in the original
it's
script.
Funny for that reason. But those two kind of moments were my favourite. Adam, how about you?
Yeah, the Kevin Bacon blowing off steam dance montage. It's a classic. It gets lampooned to this day in modern media. So that's fantastic.
There was interesting little facts about this. So the guy that doubled him for that, Kevin Bacon, was very kind of vocal about the fact that this guy was great and had done the dance doubling and all this kind of stuff. And he was, I don't know if he was going out with or he was married to.
I think he was engaged at the time.
Engaged, yeah. He was engaged to the woman who did all of the doubling for Flashdance, but no one would acknowledge.
Oh wow.
So like, you know, she did most of that iconic dancing and got no credit for it whatsoever. So I think Kevin Bacon kind of went the other way. So she kind of
good on him.
Yeah.
And apparently he also has to tip DJs at weddings not to play Footloose, so he doesn't have to do the dance that he can't do.
I heard that.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like that scene a lot.
Yeah.
I actually found myself liking Ren quite a lot. So a lot of his scenes I took a shine to.
Yeah, I liked him too. I think, like I said, for me, I think John Lithgow kind of stood out as my favourite character. But I did really like Ren, but I couldn't warm to Ariel at all.
No,
me either.
I think you get the idea that Ren's supposed to be, if you haven't seen Footloose, you'd imagine he would be sort of, you know, kind of more like a punky character.
Yeah.
A bit more anti-establishment than Ren actually is.
Yeah, more like
this is
like
a
Danny
learned guy.
Yeah, because he kind of goes against the grain a little bit, like in that. Well, not. I guess I'm thinking about Grease particularly because it's a really easy comparison to make. But like John Travolta's character, that is so the other way, and Ren's not cool in that way. He's just different, I think, when he comes to the town, and he is, like you say, he's learned. He's a smart guy. He's
respectful.
Yeah, he's moral.
He's kind of a
job
normal
that he shows up to and does.
He's like a normal kid, but he just has a different life experience.
Yeah. Completely.
You know.
Yeah, so I like that about the character. He's not who you'd expect.
Yeah.
Would you say is he your favourite character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, how about? Oh, he's changing his mind.
Yes.
Okay.
However, John Lithgow's arc is far more satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with John Lithgow just because I think that the character is deeper, it's more interesting. There's more of an arc there, and I think Kevin Bacon is really good, but I think John Lithgow just knocks this out of the park. He's really, really good.
I can't believe he was 38. That's kind of blowing me away a bit. I think his
Poor
performance is so good.
Yeah.
I know. He's so believable. It's like a 45-year-old man.
I suppose maybe it's because you can see him in this film commanding so much respect over the town.
Yes.
And you don't often get that much respect in a 30-something.
Yeah.
So maybe
what are you trying to say? I command respect wherever I go.
Sure, Tom. Yeah.
I think that you know, it doesn't. He's like, what was he, 6'5" or something like that? So like, I mean, he's quite an imposing guy anyway. And you know, I think a little bit of greying in the hair probably helps sell it a little bit. But he just has that, like you say, authority. It's just he does sweat a lot. Yeah.
He does.
What's that about?
Yeah.
What about kind of anything that's particularly odd or that just doesn't work in this movie?
I think Ariel's odd. I don't think she works. I feel like the screenwriters didn't even like Ariel.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you question, like, why Ren likes her.
I have no idea why Ren likes Ariel.
Because you just think, well, what?
No, I don't either.
Ren's not even the kind of guy who would go for Ariel. Ariel is mate. Who's the guy she's with at the beginning?
I want to say like Connor or someone like that, but I don't think that's right. The guy that
Chuck.
Chuck, yes.
Chuck.
There you go.
Ariel's made for that guy.
Yeah.
They're going to settle down, live in a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is vile for her, but she likes the physicality of it, I guarantee you, deep down.
I think the whole point is that she's not the kind of girl that he would go for, and therefore she has to change.
But then
she
doesn't
like we said,
really,
it doesn't kind of quite.
Yeah, for me, I completely agree, Adam. Like, I wrote that down as kind of the thing that doesn't really work in this film is just her characterization.
It's not believable.
No, and I don't think it's her acting either. I just think it's the way the character's written.
Yeah, the acting's fine.
Like, it's fine for what the character is required to do. She delivers it really well. And you do feel sorry for her. Like, obviously there's empathy there for the grief that she's going through and the fact that she gets beaten up by a boyfriend, but then
she gets beaten up by her dad too, let's be honest.
She does get hit by her dad, yeah.
Which I'm not condoning, but
and they do address that because he says he goes to church and he prays and he's like, I've never hit anyone before, and you know, so you've got all of that at play as well. I think that's the main reason he changes, to be honest.
But I think that's a key moment for him.
Yes.
That's a pivotal point.
Yeah, she's pushed him so far that he just
never
lashes
doubted
out.
his faith until, or his beliefs. I wouldn't say faith. He never doubted his beliefs until his daughter pushes him so far that he hits her.
Yeah,
and then he realizes he needs to be less like the rock and more like the tree.
Yes, yeah, but her character just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me at all. But a little bit of trivia. Tom, you've probably seen this, but Madonna actually auditioned for this part and didn't get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently.
I saw that it was likely that Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And so Tom Cruise was probably going to be Ren, and then he couldn't.
He was filming something else.
Yeah, and then it was going to be Rob Lowe.
Oh, that would have been great.
And they were like, he's brilliant. He can do all the dancing. Yeah. He was spot on. He was going to do it.
Oh, he got an injury, didn't he?
Busted his knee.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then they had to be persuaded to take Kevin Bacon.
But as soon as they saw him on a screen test, it was really quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, 30 seconds into his screen test, they said he'd got the part.
I mean, he is great in it. Like, he's really good. And
he turned down the lead in Christine to do this.
But it did. I mean, this film really did launch him, as a leading actor.
Yeah.
I mean, because also there are a bunch
symbol of... Kevin Bacon. How?
I mean, I don't know.
He's got an odd face.
There were also like a bunch of actresses that apparently got offered the part of Ariel but turned it down. And to me, I think that's because the character's so weird. Yeah. Like, it's just such an odd character. But like Michelle Pfeiffer, Jamie Lee Curtis, Meg Ryan.
There's no way Jamie Lee Curtis is taken, or Meg Ryan. They're looking for more interesting things. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, but think about how old they were then. I mean, they were all young. They were. I mean, apart from Jamie Lee Curtis, who was hot off the back of Halloween. Yeah. Yes. I mean, what had Meg Ryan done before this came out?
I'm not sure. Jodie Foster was another one.
Bloody love Meg Ryan.
Really?
You?
I do.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I mean,
I
Harry
know
Met Sally,
she's played the same character every single film she's ever been in. But she'd charm to her.
She'd been on TV, and then in 1983 she made Amityville 3D.
Oh wow!
So she was, It wasn't until Top Gun. That's what,
Right. Okay.
And Inner Space. They're two that kind of pushed her. I mean, she was obviously big on TV before that. But
it didn't even occur to me that Top Gun was her first big movie.
Wow, she's good in that. She actually doesn't play the same character. Well, she kind of does.
No, I mean,
different.
She's not the same Meg Ryan as in You've Got Mail.
Is it really bad that I don't remember her being in Top Gun?
She's
Goose's wife.
Goose's wife, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember Cruise, Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer's amazing in that movie.
Tim Robbins, Kelly McGillis. So and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I would think of all of them before I even got to like Meg Ryan.
Tom, come on!
I have to say I haven't seen Top Gun that much. Maybe only like 2 or 3 times.
That's still
a great deal more than you've seen most films. So
probably not.
Oh wow!
Not this one though.
No, I've never seen this one.
There you go. See.
That's fair.
So okay, what do we like about this? What still holds up? What's good?
I think most of it holds up actually.
Yeah, me too. I really liked this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it sits in its own world really, really well. Mm-hmm. Like, then it was very present day. Yep. Now it's an very 80s movie.
Yeah.
But it's an 80s movie and it fits within that almost as a subgenre now.
Yeah.
Because the thing I don't like about, for example, Dirty Dancing is that it's set in the 60s, yet there's 80s music in it, which at the time was done to sell records, but now just is like, that's completely incongruous. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas this, the music's from the time period, it's all set, and even with Grease, it was, although it was made in the 70s, it's set in the 50s, or the music is appropriate for the time period, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of works within its own thing. And I think this does really, really well. And I think, I think the story that they were trying to tell, which was one of rebellion, is actually not really the story that it is. It's more about dealing with grief and learning to trust people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what it should be. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it kind of, I think I quite liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think in my head, I always liked it from the dancing, but for me, it's a lot more than that. And I wouldn't watch it to watch a dance film.
Yeah.
Like now, I would watch it because I want to watch a film about, like you say, kind of
almost more
family dealing with grief.
More of a drama.
Because it is way more of a drama than, I mean, I keep talking about Grease, or I mean, I suppose, or even Dirty Dancing. Really, it's just got a bit more meat to it, I think, as a film that I just hadn't remembered was there.
I'm not sure I would like really go out of my way to watch it again.
Yeah.
But if there were like a couple of movie channels and it was this or
The Notebook
or Dirty Dancing or Jason and the Argonauts, I'd probably watch this.
Adam, how about you?
Oh, well, we were talking before the podcast started about how it looks and sounds fairly bad.
Oh yeah, we were.
It's one of the. It errs on the side of bad. It's one of the worst sort of. We don't know if it's the transfer to DVD.
So I was looking at this, and there was one scene in particular that really stuck out to me, where it looked like the film stock on John Lithgow's close-up was different to the wide and the close-ups on the other characters, and it's like, it felt like the version we watched was the UK DVD, so it's got like, I don't know, it looked really degraded and grainy. Yeah. It seemed like there were mismatched film stocks and stuff, and I don't know if that was just whether it's bad transfer or bad, like the print was bad when they made the DVD, or what it was.
Just crap stock.
Yeah, or if it was made from maybe it was made from a tape that was from a TV transfer for
you
TV.
Don't know how these companies do these things, because sometimes they cut as many corners as they can to make as much profit as possible on the DVD. But for me, when I look at and try and decide whether a film still holds up, it has to pass the eye test of, is someone nowadays going to be able to sit down and watch Footloose, having been watching Ultra HD TV and movies up to this point, and think, wow, this looks crap. The colours are all wrong. The resolution's horrible. The sound is not great. Whilst I'm completely on board with Tom and that it's nice to hear songs from the era of a movie, and that all follows through, it's still weird to hear like a bassy synth line to a tractor race. It wasn't a race, was it? It was Tractor Chicken.
Yeah.
Because
I
want to hear a ukulele to that, something a bit hayseedy.
No, I don't mind that kind of stuff.
I didn't pick up on much of that, but then I watched it on like
the geography
a small
of it was
TV,
all wrong.
Quite far away.
Yeah, I found the geography of it all wrong. They didn't come together in my head. A tractor,
right, and that
game
kind
of chicken, and a sort of
soundtrack.
Yeah, like a synth
Isn't
soundtrack.
That "Holding Out for a Hero," the Bonnie Tyler song?
Yeah,
Holding Out for a Hero.
Is it that
I think it's that playing when they do that.
Yeah, those two. I don't think of.
Right.
They don't go together in my head very well.
Okay.
I didn't mind that at all.
The story itself is timely in that it's something that happens, but I think like I mentioned earlier with, Footloose and the Rise of Trump, that's going to be my next dissertation. It commits some crimes.
Okay.
In the way it portrays rural towns.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
And that bill comes due.
It's interesting. I was just looking up. This had a budget of 8 million, roughly.
Wow, where did all that money go?
But I mean, think of it at the time.
It's still not cheap to make a film. I'll grant you.
I mean, scouts, locations.
Exactly, 35 mil.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah,
you've got a big cast.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
you've
really,
got quite a big cast.
They might not be names. Yeah. But there's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just
likely
logistics.
Cheap to get the town. There are no effects.
I'd imagine a lot of it was spent on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those songs were written for it. If you look, the writer of the screenplay is credited on most of the songs on the soundtrack. So most of them were written for the film.
Wow.
So even Holding Out for a Hero, which is written by Jim Steinman for Bonnie Tyler, he's still credited as one of the writers as well.
Wow, yeah.
It made 80 million gross.
Wow.
Damn,
in
girl.
the US alone. Ooh. So that's tenfold on its budget.
It's a good investment.
I mean, yeah.
So, why would you make it for any more money than that?
I mean, sure.
Yes.
I don't think more budget would have improved the film at all.
No.
Apart from maybe better film stock, if that was the problem with it in the first place, which we're not convinced it is.
No.
Wow. Anyone have anything to add that they're just desperate to talk about? Footloose that they haven't shared?
This is a 3-star movie for me.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 3.5.
Out of how many stars? Because that's kind of important.
Out of 10 stars.
Out of 10?
Out of 10?
No, out of 5.
Okay.
I was going to say.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
I thought it was a pretty solid movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure if I'd like it or not. I kind of had I had the feeling going into it that I might react to it in the same way like I did with like Ghost and stuff like that, where it's kind of like, I don't understand why people like this movie because everyone, I don't like watching it. I'm just like, I don't understand why people root for these particular characters in this given situation. But with this, I kind of like, oh yeah, I can, I can totally see if you were an angsty teen, how you would really get into this movie and how it would resonate with you, Ben
resonates with me now, not even as an angsty teen, because he doesn't go through the angst.
No, he's
very cool
great.
About his love life. Yeah. He cares about reading books and
he's kind and nice to his family and his friends. He's a good guy.
Yeah, like we said, he goes to his job. What teen movie has a kid that goes to and cares about his job?
I mean, none.
It's a crap job too.
But also, that's why they managed to get their prom, because he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Despite the fact the town spends the entire time, the town spends the entirety of this movie being like, oh man, Ren's the worst. I've been hearing all kinds of crap about Ren.
Isn't it?
He is breaking the law left, right and centre. He's like the
only kid that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second the other students show Ren the seedy underbelly of Beaumont.
Yeah. He's not interested.
All kinds of nonsense.
Yeah.
They're dancing, they're drinking, they're doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all he does is go to bars and dances.
Stitched up.
And then, leaves. That's all he does.
Yeah.
And goes to work in school and reads.
A kid gives him some drugs in front of a teacher and he flushes it down the toilet.
Yeah.
Because he does,
Good kid.
One thing that I did like was the really cool stunt at the beginning with the stunt woman straddling the car and the truck with the oncoming thing. Yeah. I was just like, that's such an 80s stunt.
Yeah, but it reminded me of the Jean-Claude Van Damme
the
thing
trucks,
where he does the trucks.
Yeah, but I was just kind of like, that's really cool. I wasn't expecting to have a car stunt like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked this film.
It made me think Ariel is pretty desperate for the D. Life on the line situation. She's got to get in that guy's trunk.
It made me think of the TV shows that I watched at that time, like Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider and all that kind of
these
stuff.
Practical effects that wow, someone died in the first take of that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. It kind of that was a kind of like a nostalgic childhood moment for me. It was just like watching some just ridiculous car stunt that, I mean, yes, it shows that she's completely reckless. Was it entirely needed? Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, no. I kind of liked it.
But what you did want was for the truck to go up a ramp, over a hay bale, a freeze frame. Then Duke boys are at it again.
The Juggernaut should have totally jumped them.
Yeah. Yes.
That would have been amazing.
Except they wouldn't have had
I mean, they would have slammed into the ramp that it had to come off, but fine.
Yeah. It would have gone very badly.
It would have.
I think the truck was too heavy to clear it. They wouldn't have had, like, the pneumatics available in Hollywood at the time.
Well, they
just the cut for the truck to clear that
big
car.
Engine, lightweight. That's all you do. Just floor it. That's what they did in the Dukes of Hazzard.
So how's shooting of the film going? What, day 1? 4 kids have died.
Oh dear. Maybe that's why they decided not to go for that option. Well, I think that's kind of us. All wrapped up on Footloose.
Yeah.
What's your favourite song from Footloose, guys?
Oh gosh.
I mean, like, I think I must be Footloose. Well, I'm kind of, you know, again, it's like
the soundtrack. Absolutely, it's a jam.
I'm not denying that at all. I'm having trouble choosing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I love it. I love 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think which one resonates with me best. I do quite like the Jim Steinman Bonnie Tyler combo.
Yeah.
You know, that and Total Eclipse of the Heart, which isn't on this movie, but those two, I think that's a good combo. But then Footloose, like, that was at every single school disco I ever went to.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Of course it was. That and Grease Megamix. That's the age I am, you know.
Headbutt a pencil.
Yeah, I used to love that when it came out.
So, you know, it's kind of like that. That's what I sort of remember. And there were a couple of other tracks. I was like, oh, this. Yeah. I can't remember the names, but
I think, I don't know, for me, it's probably, maybe actually Footloose, I don't know. Holding Out for a Hero, I quite like, and then Let's Hear It for the Boy.
Let's Hear It for the Boy.
They're probably the top,
Let's Hear It for the Boy is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I like that scene that I associate that with because it's funny.
Yep. Not a lot of jokes in Footloose, actually. I kind of think of it as being a bit of a dramedy, but
yeah,
it's not loads.
I think they're not really going for humour, more of a kind of a sense of like
fun,
a sense of like satisfaction that these teens are getting one over on the adults. That's what they're aiming for. That kind of like
which, there's not a lot of other kind of comedy through it.
And you know, because we're all old, we think actually the adults were probably right.
Yeah,
we're old as hell, guys.
Good times. You can join us next week. We are going to be talking about Galaxy Quest. So tune in next Wednesday to hear that. And thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye. This podcast was recorded in the Upbeat Studio in Soho. For studio inquiries, drop us an email on studio@upbeatproductions.com. You can also find us on Twitter. Head to @upbeatprod to see what we're up to, and @upbeat_ents for our film coverage and entertainment news.